Hi guys, Dr. Mel, and we're busy with the quantitative aspects, the moles, the volumes, the concentration, and we're going to have a look at balanced equations. Now, the first thing that you have to know, if I've got a chemical reaction, I've got here the elements, the elements, the compounds, the molecules, the atoms that I'm putting in. That's got a specific name. We call that the reactants. That's what's going to go into this cup of coffee. So I'm going to put sugar, I'm going to put milk, I'm going to put coffee, I'm going to put whatever I want as the reactants. And this will be the product. You have to know those two terms because later on they'll just say the reactants and the products. Right, what do we have here? We've got iron. Can you see there? That's the symbol of iron. In your periodic table, it's an element, and you've got oxygen. And you know oxygen is O2 because it's a diatom. And if you forgot that, remember we said, I bring clay for our new home. Those will be the elements that cannot be an atom alone. It is a diatom. Di meaning two. So I've got oxygen, and here I've got iron oxide. Now you should know that iron can come in iron like that or that, and this will clearly tell you that I've got two ions with three oxygen. Now let's quickly just have a look at a revision. If I've got iron with its three positive little open orbitals, it wants to bind to something that can add an electron. It can bind to oxygen, and oxygen has two vacant orbitals there. Can you see there? Let me do it in green so that you can see. But it means I need another oxygen. But it cannot just give one electron, so it's got a charge of two. I will thus need another ion. Can you see? Then it's fine. And therefore, I'll need another oxygen. So what we have here is three oxygens. Can you see it? With two ions. And now this is a molecule. You cannot go in between there when you do balancing. You are only going to write a number in the front. Right, let's balance it. Compounds, we've done already. That's a compound. And now we want to balance. So how are we going to balance it? I'm going to say I've got iron here. And can you see I've got two there? I've got one there. So you can see it's not balanced at all. I could now already say, well, I should have had a 2 there. Then this part would be balanced. I'm not doing it that way. Usually, I write the whole sequence down. Let's quickly take all of these out. I've got iron, 2 and 1. I've got oxygen, 3 and 2. And what you can do now is balance by saying, what is the common denominator for 2 and 3? You know it is 6. So 2 will go into 6 3 times, and 3 will go into 6 2 times, thus giving me 6 oxygen this side, 6 oxygen that side. Let's put that into our equation. Well, can you see I put a 2 there? So I'm going to put the 2 there. That means I've got 2 times 3, 6 oxygens this side. And I'm going to put this 3 here. 3 times 2, I've got 6 oxygens that side. What happened to the iron? Well, I've put 2 there and I've got 2 there. So I've got 4 there, which will mean I'll have to put a 4 there. Now I've got a balanced equation. Right, so I've got 4 ions, I've got 3 oxygens, and I'm forming 2 of those. This will mean 4 ions like that. I've got 3 oxygen molecules, and I'm now forming 2 iron oxide. Can you see? It will be probably those 2 and another one with the 3 oxygens. Now this is not a perfect diagram, but it explains very well what's happening here. Can you see? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3 and 3 is 6, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's balanced and it's important. What does it mean? It means there's a mole ratio. I've got 4 mole of iron with 3 mole of oxygen to provide me 2 mole of iron oxide. Be careful, guys. Do not write anything other than in front, and know that that's the mole ratio. 4 of that with 3 of that will provide me with 2 of that. That's the mole ratio. Right. What's the mass ratio? If I've got 4 of this, 3 of that, and 2 of that, let's quickly do the ratios in terms of the mass. I've got 4 and 1 iron, if you have a look on your periodic table, is 56 grams. So the 4 times the 56 gives me a mass of 224 grams. I've got 3 oxygens, and see, it's O2, so it's a 16 plus a 16. That's 32. That would be 96 grams. And I'm now going to add this side together. I've got a 56 plus a 56 there. Can you see it's 2? And I've got a 16, a 16, and a 16. That will give me the mass that's going out. And if I add these two together, I get a mass of 320 grams. And if I add all of this together, I get 320 grams. So what we say here is that the mass ratio and the mole ratio are related to each other. So know that there's a law of conservation of mass. Let's have a look at the chemical reaction on the screen now. I've got 2 hydrogen molecules. Can you see there? It's mole. 2 hydrogen. I'm forming 2 water. There's the 1, 2, 3, 4. So what is the red one? The red one will then represent the 2 oxygens. So that will be the diatom oxygen. Remember, you have to have the moles. Is this equation balanced? It seems like I've got 4H there, 4H here, 2O, 2O, so it is perfectly balanced. We can also go to the masses. I've got 2 of this, 1 of these, and 2 of that from my equation. So the mole ratio is 2 to 1 to 2. The masses will be 2 plus 2, can you see, times the 1 gram. So that will be 4 grams. Here I've got a 16 plus a 16, which will be 32 grams. Now, if I add those two together, the reactants going in has a mass of 36 grams. Can you see 4 added to 32? It forms 2 moles of water. So it is 2 water, and that is 1 gram, plus hydrogen, and 1 oxygen, and that is 16 grams. So I've got 18 grams there. How many moles did I have? 2. So 2 times 18 gives me 36 grams. So I always have the moles and the masses going in, going out, balanced completely. That we call the conservation of mass. You cannot create mass. A reaction cannot make more mass. And it cannot be destroyed. It cannot be less. So the elements will be exactly the same on both sides. What's going in will be going out. The moles going in will be the mole going out. The mass going in will be the mass going out. Right, I want you to get a paper and a pen to do some of the calculations with me. The mass in was, remember, 2 times that, 4 grams. 1 of that was 32 grams. That gave me 36. And I had 2 of this water giving me 36 grams. I like working in tables because it clearly structures all your calculations and your thinking. Right, let's have a look at another equation. Here I've got potassium. Do you see the potassium there? And that, can you remember what that is? That is an iron that looked like this when you did it previously in this year. And that we call ClO3. And it's got one negative charge, chlorate. On the other side, and guys, be careful, this is difficult if you don't know the ions from each other. Here I've got only a Cl, and a Cl is also a negative charge, but this is now a chloride. Can you see the different names? Because it's different substances. Can you also see why I've got one potassium there to that? Can you see potassium is one positive and I've got one negative there? Can you see that? And here I've got another potassium, and that's also again 1 plus one chloride. So I've got an equation there that is potassium chlorate forming potassium chloride plus oxygen. Now let's have a look at the moles. Is it balanced? Well, you can see here I've got 2 oxygens coming out. Can you see that? So it's 2 coming out. And here I've got 3 going in. So the oxygens is clearly not balanced. And if you recall, we said get the common denominator. So if I took this 3 and I multiplied it with 2, I would have got 6 oxygen. If I took this 2 and multiplied it with 3, I would have got 6 oxygen. So what does that mean? It means I added that. I've got 3 oxygen molecules if I have 2 potassium chlorate going in. And the only other substance that I've got to balance now is the potassium and chloride, and that will be 2. So you have to balance your equation. So I've got 2 of this going in, forming 2 of that and 3 of that. You cannot do any calculations if you haven't got the moles. The mole ratio is 2 potassium chlorate will provide you with 2 potassium chloride and 3 oxygen molecules. Be careful. Don't now go and write things in the molecule. It will not work out because it's not applicable. You cannot just put an oxygen in. You've got to have a look at the charges. If you remember correctly, we did in the previous one show you why it's different. Right. Now let's go to a question. Calculate the mass. The mass of what? Oxygen. So they're asking me the mass of oxygen, and they're providing me with the mass of potassium, careful, chlorate. They're telling me I'm putting in 14.7 grams of this. What will the mass be that's formed? Now, the first thing is to draw a table. I'm drawing my table like this. I've got to calculate the mass. Can you see? I've got to calculate that, and they've given me this mass. Firstly, have a balanced equation. So we recall we had 2 of that forming 2 of this and 3 of that. The mole ratio, important, will be 2 to 2 to 3. Now, what do I have? I currently have the following, 14.7. I can also calculate the molar mass of potassium chlorate. Let's quickly do that. I've got potassium, chloride, and 3 oxygens. So I've got potassium, I've got oxygen. That's the mass that you have a look on your periodic table. This will be 16 times 3. And if you add those together, you actually find 122.5 grams. So 1 mole of potassium chlorate will measure and weigh 122.5 grams. Now, what does that mean? I now know 1 mole would be that. They didn't give me 1 mole, they gave me 14.7. So I can go and calculate the moles of potassium chlorate as the mass over the molar mass. I've got that, and I now calculated that. And if you calculate that very carefully with your calculator, you will now find that that mass will in fact give you a mass of 2.88 mole. That mass is actually 2.88 mole. Now remember what they asked me. They asked me that mass. So I can now say, if I had 2 moles of this, I would get 3 moles of that. But I didn't have 2. I had a little bit more. I had 2.88. So let's do that calculation. I've got 2 of this, ratio 2 to 3. I now know the 14.7 represents 2.88 mole. Do you see that? I want to know that mass. So let's go. You always go back to your ratio. This is the bridge. That's how you can get from one substance to another. So what do I know? If I had 2 mole of potassium chlorate, it would produce, do you see here? 2 moles would produce 3 mole oxygen. But you didn't have 2 mole. You had 2.88. So 2.88 mole of potassium will produce. And now you do crossover. Look at this. I'm going to multiply that with the 3 and I'm going to divide it with the 2. So I'm going to take 288 times 3 and I'm going to divide it with 2. And that will give me my new answer, which is 0.18 mole. Now I know I've got 0.18 mole. But I'm not finished because they didn't ask me the moles, they asked me the mass. So let's go back. We now know this was 2.88 mole. It produced 0.18 mole of this. And now I want to get to that mass. How do I do that? I know that's my equation. So I know I've got 0.18. I've got to find the mass, and oxygen is molar mass of 32. And if I now do the mathematics and the calculation, you'll find the mass would be 5.76 grams. So it's a bit more because you used more than the 2. Remember, this was this equation. So always go back to the ratio, the balanced equation, to find your calculations. In a second question, they asked me what mass of potassium chloride, the grams, would provide you an oxygen release of 90 cubic decimeters at STP. Now, standard temperature and pressure immediately tells you the molar volume, which is 22.4. And can you see immediately I can calculate the moles of oxygen formed. Guys, remember, we cannot do any calculations without a balanced equation. So let me write that down once again. 2 moles will be in a ratio to 2 to 3. Now let's do the calculation of how many moles actually was in this 90 cubic decimeters. So I'm going to take my equation. N is equal to V over Vm, which is the 90, because that's what they gave me, and the 22.4. Now that will give me the actual moles that's in that 90 cubic decimeters. Now I calculated it to be 4.0178, so we are going to use 4.018. And remember, it's mole, so it's mole of what? Oxygen. So now I know that I formed 4.018 mole of oxygen. What did they ask me? What is this mass? Now I'm going to delete this and we are going to do the next calculation. So I've got 4.018 mole here, which was the 90 cubic decimeters. I again know it is a ratio of 2 to 3. I want this mass. So I first have to find this mole here. How do I find that? Well, you go from there to there. 3 mole oxygen would be formed from 2 mole. Do you see? 3 would be formed if you use 2 mole of potassium chlorate. But you didn't form 3. You formed 4.018. That oxygen will form, again, the crossover. So it's 4.018. Remember, you're going to multiply that with 2 and you're going to divide it with that 3. And that gave me a mole of 2.68 mole potassium chlorate. Right. So 2.68 mole of potassium chloride would give you 4 mole of the oxygen, and that would have a volume of 90. They asked me the mass, so now I just have to reverse and go back to that, and let's quickly do that. So the mole is the mass over the mass. I have the new mole, 2.68. I want to find the mass, and it is potassium 39 plus chloride, which is 35.5 plus 3 times 16, and that gave us a molar mass of 122.5. And if you do that calculation, you'll find the mass to be 328.3 grams. Now, does it make sense? If you used 1 mole of this, it would be 122.5. You actually used 2 moles of that if you got that equation. But this said you actually, in reality, to form that 90, you used 2.68. Therefore, I used the 2.68, I used the molar mass, and I got the new mass. I hope you enjoy working with these challenging questions. You have to be able, guys, to balance an equation. You have to calculate the mole ratios. It's crucial from your balanced equation to get to that. You have to be able to work with mass as well as volumes. And remember that there's conservation of masses. Mass going in is the same as the mass going out. Bye-bye.